Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today is my sit-down with Matthew "TOOT" Herlihy. You might have heard the name mentioned a few times at this point in time. Finally got Toots to come on and have a chat. It's the standard format, guys. It's the what's your favourite movie, binge watching TV shows, what sport are you into, that kind of thing. As always, great to get somebody new on the podcast. Pretty good chat. Good. We already sort of discussed what we might look at doing next time. So good start for 10, let's say. So yeah, give this guy a little listen, see what you think to this. See if you want to hear more from Matthew "TOOT" Herlihy. So yeah, give this a try. Matthew "TOOT" Herlihy. So, I don't know, have you listened to any of the podcasts yet?
I've listened to most of yours that you've done, yeah. I've enjoyed them.
Cool.
I've enjoyed them immensely.
So you know the format. You know at the beginning I ask a random question.
I do. I'm excited for this.
In the vein of the one I did for Paul Williams, can you explain to me why we call you "TOOT"?
I think it started when we were working together, when I was on the call with one of our prestigious advisors, or a customer maybe, and he asked me to spell my name, and usually it's my surname that's usually the hardest part, but he wanted me to say my first name, and then he said, "Is that with 2 T's?" And I said, "Yes, with 2 T's," and I think Mr. Williams picked up on that and was like, "Oh, 2 T's," or something of that nature.
Yeah, that was basically it. There was, and there's been various different versions of the name. My personal favourite is Toots.
Yeah,
or Toots.
I think or Tootles or something.
Yeah, Tootle the turtle. Sounds like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And there was a point when it was Matthew 2 Teams.
It still is.
You did like to change teams about once every 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think I've got about a team in every sport, or maybe even 2 teams in every sport now.
Yeah. That's, I think that them's the rules, aren't they? You're allowed 2 teams in various things.
Yeah.
So, podcasts. Are you a podcast listener? Do you know podcasts?
No, I'm not really.
Other than this podcast.
Other than this podcast, I mean, I've heard like Mr. Williams talk about Stone Colds and all these wrestling podcasts, and they are out there. It's just like getting the time to like listen to them. I'm more into like I'd prefer to have them on, like in car or something like that. Right, other than radio, but I suppose it's just downloading them and putting them on like via Bluetooth to listen to.
I requested an item for Christmas, which was one of those things that you plug into your cigarette lighter in your car, and you can tune it into your radio, and then you can connect your phone to that, so you basically play whatever's on your phone through your radio. Yeah. Because I kept finding that I was like in the gym listening to podcasts, and I'd walk out of the gym and get in the car and be like, "Oh, I'm going to have to turn it off." Yeah. And it annoyed me, so I was like, I want something so I can listen to my podcast in the car. Yeah. Not mine personally, but other people's. Yeah. So yeah, they're quite funky little items.
Yeah.
Cool. So not an avid listener, but aware of the concept. I've said to a few people a few times. It's interesting how some people come on and go, "I've never heard a podcast until you asked me to come and do one." I was like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough."
I knew what they were. I mean, there's probably similar to like radio shows out there, I suppose, in a sense.
It's a bit sort of radio on demand sort of thing.
Yeah. No, they are good. They're good to listen to.
Cool. What you binge watching, as the kids say? What you binging these days?
We've got a few things on the go at the moment. We watch like The Walking Dead, which I'm getting a bit annoyed with because it's not very good at the moment. There's not a lot happening. It's coming to an end of the season and not a lot's happened like throughout the season. We're massive fans of Blacklist.
Yeah.
I love like the Raymond Reddington character and the story behind it and the backstory of like how she's related to, how Elizabeth Keen's related to Reddington and or is she and all that sort of stuff. Any spoilers there? Sorry. Yeah, that's really good. Do you watch that?
I watched the first episode a while back because a friend of mine was very, very into it.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode and was like, oh, okay, interesting, and then never went back to it. It was one of those that I think it was. I generally start a couple of programs and then one will take over and that'll become the one I'm watching.
Yeah.
I started that around the same time that I think I'd tried series 1 of Ray Donovan.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get through the first series, and then I didn't watch the last episode because I felt like the second to last episode of the first series had kind of finished that series. So I was like, I don't know what the last episode's going to be.
Yeah.
I never went back to it. And then ages later, watched the last episode of the first series and then watched everything up to date. Just random. My sister raved about it, so I was like, So yeah, Blacklist, Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Anything else?
We've started Stranger Things. We watched the first season of that. We're just beginning the second season.
It's a good little show.
Yeah, I like the curly haired kid in it. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. It's been a while since we stopped watching it, like the first season.
We hit that point where I think Leanne had already seen the first series and I hadn't bothered with it. And then everyone was raving about it, and the second series was just finishing or was just coming out or something. So I said to her about it. She was like, "Oh, I've seen the first series, but I'll watch it again." So we watched the first series straight into the second series. I really enjoy it. That's proper. To me, that's proper binge-worthy TV.
Yeah.
Just like, you put the first episode on, it's like, oh my God, I need to watch them all.
Yeah.
And it did really well to keep that interest, because some shows that are quote-unquote binge-worthy, it's like, they're just on.
Yeah.
I've really struggled with some of the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
The Marvel Netflix stuff, I've really struggled with some of those, whereas others I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Daredevil. Could not get on with that series.
Yeah.
Either of them. But I'm one of the few people that enjoyed Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Not Luke Cage, sorry. The Iron Fist. I really enjoyed Luke Cage, and a lot of people did. But Iron Fist, I enjoyed that as well. And I enjoyed The Defenders.
Yeah. We started watching a Marvel one that was about a woman.
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Everybody's raving about it, and I can't get on board with it. I've tried the first episode, and then I watched the second episode, and I was like, this show is doing nothing for me.
Yeah, that's what we were like. We watched the first two, and then we were like, oh, we'll give the third one a go, because it seems alright. But then we just couldn't push ourselves to watch anymore, really.
Like, a couple of people I've spoken to, they say it's the best one out of the lot, and I'm like, it did nothing for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know whether I've missed the mark on that one. I was talking to somebody yesterday who was saying that The Punisher's very good.
Yeah.
So at some point I might get around to watching that.
I want to get into Gotham, because I watched, the first season of Gotham.
Right.
And I can't remember what season we're on now. It might be 3, is it?
Possibly. It's not one
I really enjoyed that, because I like superheroes like Batman and Superman. I'm not too bothered about, but yeah, I did like Gotham. It's good how it's from the start before they became Bruce Wayne and there's Batman and the Joker.
Leanne watches it, I think she quite likes it.
Yeah.
Any films you've seen recently?
We watched Baywatch the other Sunday.
Thomas Quinn was telling me how amazing that film was. So I was like, really? Because it had really bad reviews.
Yeah, it's like one of those films that you can put on and like fall asleep and you'd still know what's going on like an hour later. There's just like the storyline is so poor, it's just rubbish. And,
written on the back of a postage stamp.
Yeah, and apart from like the lead actors in it, like Zac Efron and The Rock, like the supporting cast are pretty crap actors and actresses.
Wow.
I'd say anyway, but yeah, and they're not there. You know, we've been Baywatch. You think, oh yeah, all the females will be, you know, supermodels and stuff. Which, granted, like a couple of them are, but the rest of them aren't so much. But the acting were a bit debatable in it, I think.
Yeah, like I say, I didn't hear any good reviews about it.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave it a wide berth. I imagine once it hits Netflix or something, I might find myself in some point in time where I need something that I don't have to care about. So.
Yeah. The cameos were a bit cringy as well from Hasselhoff.
I was going to say, was the Hoff?
Yeah, the Hoff was in there.
And Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, right at the end, she was walking in like high heels and strutting her stuff. I think she ended up being like the new manager of the Baywatch or something. And that was it. That was her role.
What does she look like these days? Can't imagine she looks good.
She looks a bit haggard.
I kind of thought, I was thinking, I was like, oh God, I wonder what she looks like these days.
We watched, she was on a Piers Morgan interview not long ago, and she was a bit odd. Really odd and out there. And they're asking about her relationship with Julian Assange and stuff, and she was a bit like, we're just friends, but then she'd like say it with like a cheeky smile and stuff, and she wouldn't go into any further detail, and she was just a bit odd.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Very odd.
So, anything else in the movie world?
What did we watch the other day?
I've seen Justice League.
No, I haven't. No, it's on my list to watch. I watched when we went to New York. I watched the new Transformers film, and I thought, is it the last night? Yeah. I was really disappointed with it. I just thought it was a bit far-fetched.
Yeah. Which, if you think about a film about talking robot cars being far-fetched. But yeah, I got it for Christmas. It's in that pile over there somewhere. Yeah. And yeah, I think Lamb was out at some point and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch that, because she was like, I have no interest in watching that film.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I've got a chance to watch it, and I put it on, and yeah, that was a hard watch.
Yeah,
hard
bad.
watch.
You know when you want something easy watching, like on a plane, and you put that on, and it's like, is it going to get going?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why are these robots like from the Stone Age? And why is Anthony Hopkins signed up to be in this? Like, did he not read the script?
Yeah, there was a lot of questions around that film, mostly what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And then, like, the people that were in it was like, why are you in this film? What have you done? You know, I can't imagine that Anthony Hopkins needs the money.
What have you done wrong in Hollywood to get signed up to this?
But, you know, good on him if I'm sure it paid well.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of, could you not turn that payday down? Could you not walk away from that and just go, I'm good, thanks?
Yeah. We watched Why, have you seen Why Him? With James
Franco and Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for it and I was kind of intrigued. I really like Bryan Cranston. I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad, but also quite enjoyed, you know, when he was Malcolm in the Middle and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of time for Bryan Cranston, and I quite like James Franco, but
Gene Simmons was in the back end of the film.
Really?
I managed to get like Kiss to perform like for, I think they were getting engaged or something, and they got Gene Simmons to come to the house and he's playing like wireless guitar walking down the street in full gear.
Nice.
So yeah,
Okay.
good film. It was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it probably ticks all the boxes that it needs to. It kind of struck me as a little bit I love you, man sort of vicinity. Just something funny to put on. And sometimes that's all you need. I keep talking about there's different genres for different times, and there is that genre of I want to put a movie on that I don't want to think about.
Yeah.
There's that. And for me, there are films out there that I'm never sure whether they're bad films.
Yeah.
That I just go, well, at least I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I put a film on a couple of weeks back, knowing that it was going to be awful. And, like, one of my mates had said, oh, watch this film, and it was truly awful. So I was like, oh, I need something awful to watch. So I put that on, knowing that it was going to be bad. But sometimes you need that in your life. You need to be able to say, I know this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
So you're not disappointed by it.
Yeah.
And every now and then you put something on and go, I didn't think that was too bad. Case in point, Justice League.
Yeah.
I can't review it because I think I'm supposed to review it at a later date.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you're told that something's awful, and then you watch it and go, I didn't think it was as bad as I'd been led to believe.
Yeah. We went to watch Blockers at the cinema, or Cop Blockers.
Oh, yeah.
As the picture says.
Is that the one that's got John Cena in it?
Yeah, yeah.
There's somebody else. One of the guys from The League's in it. Is it The Body?
I don't think so.
Is The Body the other dad?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
I thought I'd seen something where...
Oh, it might... No, it is really good though. John Cena's got like a bigger part than he has in like Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home 2. He's got like a proper big part where he actually plays like one of the dads of one of the college girls that's sort of they're leaving school, I think, and going to college, so they're having like this prom. So basically what happens is they're having a group chat about what they plan on doing at prom, and they're making this sex pact to these three girls. And one of the girls' mums gets wind of this conversation, because I think the conversation's fed to like a computer in a room.
Right.
So this woman's in the room reading conversation with John Cena being parent of the other girl, and then there's the guy then from the League that's the other parent, and the guy from the League actually is
Frank the Body Giuliani.
Yeah, he's translating the emojis, because the mother's like a bit, oh, what does this mean? What does like this conch mean? And then he's like, yeah, they're gonna have sex, and like the woman's like panicking, and then John Cena plays like this quite strict character. He's like, I'm not having some guy violating my daughter and stuff, like proper muscle and threatening to clothesline him. So it's really good because they follow it from like the prom, and then they go to like an house party straight after it.
Right.
And then they end up turning up to this house party as John Cena and these other two. And John Cena has to do like this thing where he has to get beer through a tube and up his arse. Because these kids stop him before they're going in, and they're like, you can't go in here, it's just students only. And I think they go, oh yeah, but we're mature students and stuff.
Right.
And it's like, alright, we'll have this beer game. So yeah, he ends up taking beer up his back passage. And then it goes from like a house party that gets like broken up by police to like some hotel room or something, like a party in a hotel floor rather.
Wow.
But it's a good film, yeah, it's a good laugh. Really funny.
Again, sometimes you just need something that's funny. Just stick something on that's funny.
Yeah.
The question at this point in time that I generally ask is, if you had to name your top 3 films, is that something you could do? Because I keep asking people, and it's become this bigger thing. Because I was like, when I started out doing, I'm going to do a podcast, and I'm going to ask these questions, and one of the questions was, what's your top 3 favourite films? And it's caused this massive debate between all these various different people.
Yeah.
That people going, I can't tell you my 3 favourite films. I can tell you what they are today, but tomorrow they'll be different. And I'm like, okay, so what are they today? So is it something that do you have a top 3, a top 5, a top 10, or do you just go, that was a good film, oh, that was shit?
There's so many in there to choose from.
Yeah,
it is a tough question. I think like my favourite ever film that I could put on like at any time and I just enjoy it from like start to finish would be Gladiator. I think like that's one of like my favourite films. Yeah. It's like I can recite like a lot of words from it, and you know
Not
what I
bad
mean?
movie.
And it's like early days of Russell Crowe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Through.
Yeah, because it's not. It'll be old now.
Yeah.
And all wacky.
What we're saying about early 2000s, maybe, or is that?
Part of me is like, whenever you think it's a long time ago, you should always add a few years on. Part of me thinks it was like back end of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, there's some part of me that wants to say 98, and obviously now I'll have to look it up. But
it's Ridley Scott as well, isn't it? Ridley Scott directed it. It's such a good film, good story.
The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is 2000.
Yeah.
So
Seems alright.
yeah, round about.
See, he got Russell Crowe on board when they remade the Robin Hood, didn't they? Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like that compared to the old one, the Prince of Thieves.
I've never seen it because I didn't hear good things about it.
Yeah.
Which makes it, I know I keep always sounding like a bit of a ratings whore, but there is an aspect of, to me, I'd rather make my own mind up. But when you don't hear any good reviews, you're a bit like, that might be not worth it.
Yeah.
I'd seen Mark Maron's latest stand-up a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Then I watched it again recently, and he has this concept that he's got to a certain age, and he's like, people tell him, you should watch this, it's 3 hours, you should watch it. And his take on it is he doesn't know how much time he's got left. He's like, I'm getting on now, I don't know how much time I've got left. So he just says no to a lot more stuff. He's like, I don't think I want to do that. And his point is, if somebody says, watch this 3 hour film, and he dies halfway through, and it was shit. He's like, I wasted that last bit of my life. I don't know how much time I've got left. So that's how he tells people that he doesn't want to do what they want him to do. He's like, don't know how much time I've got left.
That's clever.
So you're just going with Gladiator as your...
That's probably like one of my favourites, or the favourite. I like quite a lot. I like quite a lot of like comedy films because I just think they're easy to watch. Like I have to be in the mood to watch something quite deep, and like Green Mile's probably one of my best sort of intense, films to concentrate on. I think that's a great film.
See, for me, stand-up's my go-to. There's times where I need to put stand-up on. Stand-up's always been a constant throughout my life, from being about 16 or so. Yeah. A mate of mine was like, here, watch this. I was like, what is it? It's like, my brother lent me his Bill Hicks VHS. We're going to watch this. And I was like, who? What? What is this? I think before that, there had been like Lenny Henry and stuff. And comedy was a big aspect in my life, especially sort of stand-up.
Yeah.
And we put Bill Hicks on, and I didn't laugh once. I got to the end and was like, that was really profound. It was really interesting. Sort of missed the entire sort of it was stand-up comedy. I just took it at face value and was just like, it was really interesting. And it was only watching it the second time, just dying laughing throughout it. And I know that those are the times that I know that I've come across something that's really going to stick with me if I don't laugh. I think Ozzy said something about watching Spinal Tap. And he didn't laugh because he thought it was a documentary. And I remember seeing Richard Pryor's, the famous one, Sunset Boulevard or something. Yeah. And I didn't laugh once. I think I chuckled once, the first time I saw it all the way through, and then now it's like that's one of my go-tos, one of my favourite all-time ones. I when I wrapped Christmas presents, I was wrapping Christmas presents watching that because it was like, rather than like, I know some people will go, I'll put a Christmas movie on. For me, it's like stand-up comedy.
Put comedy on.
So yeah, comedy's always a good go-to. Comedy movies, stand-up and stuff like that.
Have you seen Bill Bailey do his comedy?
I've got a couple of Bill Baileys.
He's such a
his,
clever guy, isn't
I like
he?
his musical stuff.
Yeah.
I like his when he does about Slayer.
Yeah.
He's just like gets the guitar, just throws out that massive riff.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
We're Slayer.
Yeah.
It's like brilliant.
Like doing like TV theme tunes, like in versions of like heavy metal and stuff like that.
He's very talented because he plays so many different instruments and then can turn that into something funny and do the comedy as well.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple where he's doing like, he does his stand-up and then he just like picks up an instrument and starts playing the instrument.
Yeah.
Comedy with that, then goes back to doing stand-up, and it's like, that is talent.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed Black Books.
Yeah.
He was very good in that.
I liked it when he played Enter Sandman on horns.
Yeah.
And he can play bells as well, can't he?
Yeah.
I've seen him play some on bells.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, you just can't argue that is true talent right there.
Yeah, he's not like a comedian where you just like laugh out loud, is he? He's just
he's
clever.
He's a bit of a thinking man's comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very smart with a lot of the stuff he does, which, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So you like your comedy films, you like your Gladiator. Anything else?
My favourite Disney films are the Mighty Ducks, as you'd probably guess.
Yeah.
Like the greatest Disney film ever made. That don't sell Disney merchandise in the Disney shop.
I'll tell you something. I'm gonna have to start doing a Disney podcast. Like the second person that's come on and going, I like Disney. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's go with that. I had to have a long conversation with Ed about his love for the Disney genre.
Yeah.
He just went just Disney, and then we had to talk about Moana because I really like Moana.
Yeah, I've seen Moana.
Great soundtrack.
Sarah
Great
always
casting.
sings it at home.
Yeah.
Like she loves the songs from it.
Yeah.
The Rock's good in it.
Yeah, like I say, great casting. When I heard that that The Rock was going to be doing a voice for Disney, I was like, that's interesting. And then a few months later, it was like, oh, and he's going to sing as well. And I was like, well, that's even more interesting. And then and then I saw a trailer and stuff, and it was like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. We switched fridges recently. We had to take the Moana poster off the fridge. I was like, oh, Moana.
Yeah. I like my comedy films as well. Like, you'd have to... Like, one of the Will Ferrell films would have to be up there. You're not a big fan of Will Ferrell, are you?
So, early Will Ferrell, I was alright with, and then he just started playing the same sort of character. Like, I really liked him I thought he was great in Zoolander. I thought he was really good in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. I think it was that one he was in. Early stuff, I enjoyed him. I had no sort of issues. And then he just kept playing Will Ferrell. A friend of mine made me watch Anchorman.
I love Anchorman.
And I didn't get on with that film.
I went to the cinema to watch that, and like I came out thinking, I laughed a few times, but I didn't really get it. And it wasn't until I watched it back on like DVD that I thought, this is really funny, like some of the one-liners in it. But yeah, that's me. And Step Brothers as well. Quite like Step Brothers. That's a good film.
Yeah,
I recite a lot of that.
If I'm honest, he does tend to put me off stuff. I'm a bit like, I'm good, thanks. He was good in the Lego movie.
Yeah, he was. He plays a good baddie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd seen a Saturday Night Live sketch that they'd done recently, and that was quite good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've got time for him when he's doing stuff that I like. I think it's when he just does stuff that's just him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're just playing the same character because you used to play different characters and they were good characters, and now you're just playing Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the NFL moves over the last couple of days?
Seen a few.
NFL's died off on the podcast because we had this flurry right at the beginning. Like the first couple of hours, it was like, "Hey, let's talk NFL," and I was like, "Let's make this a thing. We'll talk about the NFL, and we'll be like British NFL people who know nothing about the NFL." And then nothing happened after that. It was like this flurry of movement, and then nothing.
You'd think it'd be getting quite intense at the moment because the draft's like on the horizon.
Imminent draft.
You'd have thought there'd be players getting sort of traded everywhere for draft picks, and but it's been a bit quiet. There's been a lot of free agency moves, hasn't there?
Yeah. So the two things I've seen in the last 2 days was that Gronk has not turned up for
pre-season
practice.
Yeah.
For training. Now, one camp saying one thing, another camp saying another thing. Supposedly, it's to do with injury.
Yeah.
But I don't remember Gronk going out injured at the end of the last season. And it's been a while since the season ended, so, what injury is this?
Yeah.
I said when I heard it, I was like, well, he was unsure about returning at all.
Yeah.
I know last season he wasn't overly sure about returning. I think he loves the party too much.
Yeah, he's like JJ Watt's the same, isn't he? Like he's a bit of a party boy, isn't he? But
he's got a girlfriend, and you see more about him and his girlfriend turning up at these glitz and glamours
have to be seen, yeah,
than him getting back in the gym.
Yeah.
Like I saw one thing where he was running up and down the gym, and then 500 pictures of him and his missus. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm happy for you, but when are we seeing you back on the field, sort of thing. Hopefully this season.
The Gronk were injured quite a lot though last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then obviously the year before he had a season-ending injury in 2 games.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, he's a points machine when it comes to fantasy, but
get him drafted early in your fantasy, but
you can't guarantee points every week off the Gronk.
No.
Which is probably why I didn't pick him. But
the other thing I've seen is Des Bryant.
Yeah.
No longer
with
the
a Cowboy.
Dallas Cowboys. Mentioned it to Bill earlier, and he was like, "Oh, money, money," and I was like, "Okay," but I thought it was unusual.
Yeah,
but they sort of sprung that one. I was like, "That's interesting."
Yeah, because they've signed. Obviously, it's not a like-for-like replacement, but they've signed Alan Hearns, haven't they, from the Jags? And I read today that he said he won't take his number 88 shirt because that's what he wore with the Jags.
Right.
But yeah, he's moving from the Jags to Cowboys as a bit of a replacement, I guess. But yeah, like with Bryant going, there's been like Jordy Nelson's left the Packers, hasn't he? And he's signed with somewhere. It might be in Minnesota, maybe, or somewhere like that, or Baltimore. But there's been a lot of movement with like aging wide receivers, like in free agency. Like they just all seem to have swapped teams, a lot of them, which. But I suppose it depends what your team needs, doesn't it? Because like if you've got like
an abundance of one,
a few young wide receivers, you probably want to get someone like Jordy Nelson or Bryant in.
I watched that All or Nothing, and the season they did with the Rams, not brilliant. I think we sort of lost a bit of interest in that one. But the season they did with the Cardinals was really good, and they did that they brought in a veteran.
Yeah.
So far through the season, and that veteran just basically coached all the young guys in that particular sort of area, and it was really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And he was actually absolutely dominating on the field as well, so it was a real good combo. I felt sorry that they didn't go all the way that season because I thought they might, even though I was watching it years after knowing that they didn't make it. I was like, oh, I know how this ends. But yeah. Quite looking forward to the new season because apparently that is the Cowboys.
Yeah.
From 20... Well, I don't know how it works. 2016, 2017 or 2017, 2018 season.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see.
I used to watch Hard Knocks when that were on. That were
Yeah.
That was decent. I assume that's probably similar, aren't
they? Yeah, I think so. Asking you about the NFL, I also feel I need to ask you about the NHL.
NHL.
NH.
I thought you were going to go on to fantasy then. I thought it was going to.
No, I'm not asking you about fantasy football.
Fantasy.
I'm not asking you about fantasy football. Not a fucking chance.
I was all ready to give all the listeners
all right, okay. All right then. So let's get the fantasy stuff out of the way. Matthew, how is it that you end up in the playoffs every season?
Just a bit of luck, I think. I love our fantasy league. I think
I hate
the banter and the fact that nobody trades.
We're all
a few people and there's like dodgy trades going on.
I love the first season when Liam was like, "I'm going to trade all of my players every week." And it's like, I don't know if that's the right idea. No, trade's the answer. Okay, where did you finish? I think she finished dead last on that one. And I was like, so the next year she's like, I'm not trading anybody with anyone.
Yeah.
I do enjoy sitting screaming at my laptop when you're drafting players. Just pick a player. Stop using it all the time.
That's probably why it lasts about 4 hours long.
Yeah, it's like an 18-hour draft because you managed to run it the full, whatever it is, a minute and a half that feels like 6 hours.
I've got all my scouting team researching players and,
I'm on the message boards going to Paul, the commissioner, going, can we just kick him out of the league? Because this is like, it's every year. TOOT, pick a player. So, yeah, it's good times. So, yeah, have you got any pointers for any budding fantasy listeners?
Not really. I mean, last season was quite difficult because, I had David Johnson and he was like the number one running back.
Yeah.
I got first pick again, didn't I? Like, second season in a row that we did it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was third season last season, wasn't it? But, second season on the go, I got first pick and he were out after about 1 game, 2 games.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like, what do you do? Do you bank on him coming back like at the back end of the season? Or?
Yeah, I've been in that position before where I've had players where they're just like, hang on to him, keep hold of him. He's injured right now, but...
Yeah.
Who did I have? Tyler Eifert.
Oh, Bengals tight end.
Yeah. I held on to him for an entire season because they just kept going, he's coming back this week. And I'd seen him, was it the year before that he'd done the somersault over the player? Yeah. And I was like, anybody that can do that, you got to get him. So I picked him up early. Yeah. I think he was injured when I picked him up and he never came out of being injured. Like, that was a waste of a space on my bench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually keep to a core nucleus of positions, and I just try and I'll pick my pretty much starting team, and then the bench I'll just try and upgrade them for whenever they're on a bye week. So, but the thing I found hard was there was I think more teams this year than ever. It was hard to find decent players on waivers.
It was. I'd had some time out. And came back, and I didn't feel it was fair for other people for me to then start playing because people had 3 wins off the back of me not playing.
Yeah.
So then I didn't feel it was fair for me to then start playing again to play other people. Not that I was just like, I'll beat them, because I wouldn't, because I can't pick a team for shit. But I just didn't think it was fair. So I basically sent out a message saying, look, everybody gets a free win off me because I'm not going to set a lineup each week because I don't feel it's fair. And then there was points where they were like, your team beat me. I had 2 empty slots. How did I beat you? Yeah, you beat me. And I was like, at one point I was winning games, and I'm like, how is this possible? I've got 8 people on a bye. Yeah, you still won. What
I ended up doing last season as well was I'd look at the rookies that had been drafted or that was starting to sort of get into the team. Prime example, Alvin Kamara from Saints. The way he just burst onto the scene amazing last year. But before I picked him, and it was same with Juju Smith-Schuster as well when I picked him up. I had to look on YouTube for the college highlights because I just didn't know anything about them, if they're any good or.
I think if you don't actually physically sit and watch the draft and see their highlight reels and stuff, you do have to go searching for stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think that's the point that I'm like, it's a bit too much effort for me. I'll just pick somebody I know. Somebody I know. Is Gronk available? Let me get Aaron Rodgers early doors. Oh, he's already gone. Okay, who's left? I'll get Russell Wilson. No, he's gone. I ended up with somebody who's like a second string quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he might play. You never know. He's not going to play.
It's good fun.
It is good fun. I do enjoy it. I miss it because it's such a short amount of the year. You know, you get like 4 months and then the other 8 months without it, and you're just like, yeah. I think I'd said on one of the previous podcasts, there's people at work I don't ever speak to for 8 months of the year because I've got nothing to talk to them about. And then like 2 weeks before, I was like, hey, how have you been for the last year? Let's talk.
What have you been doing in the off-season?
Yeah, it's good to see you. You saw me yesterday. Yeah, I'm seeing you differently now because now you're a competitor. And, good times. Good bit of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, and from NFL to NHL.
Yeah.
You're a hockey guy.
I am, yeah.
Hockey over football?
No. I'll always, because I've grown up with football like since I could kick a ball, so I'll always like football more than anything else, really.
Hockey over American football?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it's probably not as close as you'd think, really. Because, like, the reason, like, I got into hockey was, like, I think it was about 1998. I had, like, a PlayStation 1, and my uncle said, try this game, it's really good, like, NHL 98, and I'd, like, play it, like, constantly, and I think, wow, this is amazing, like, what is... I didn't go like, what is this sport? But I'd be like, what is this game? Like, it's so good. You can score goals and then you can fight. And, like, it's just like, it's like Tekken versus football or something, like, all in one game. And it's on ice. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, it'd be like if you're playing FIFA and, you know, if somebody fouled you, you could knock them out.
Yeah. And it's all legal.
Yeah.
Well, to a degree. But, yeah, it's all legal.
Yeah, I have fond memories of dropthegloves.com coming up.
Yeah. And one of my relatives that lived in Canada, he brought me like an Ottawa Senators baseball cap when I was really young.
Nice.
So they were like the team I adopted in Canada from like a young age, but I didn't really follow them religiously. It wasn't until I went to watch Sheffield Steelers about 4 or 5 years ago that like I took a better interest in like what were going on in, and it's first time like I went to America like 4 years ago. What was it? Maybe 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. And obviously like they're massive on the sport in America.
Yeah.
Which is why I got into American football a lot more and baseball as well. So
I was going to mention the Sheffield Steelers.
Yeah.
You and I have been to a Sheffield Steelers.
We have, We had a fantastic day out.
Good little Monday day that we had there.
In Sheffield.
A fantastic Monday.
Through the Never, didn't we?
Through the Never.
3D, 1080p,
IMAX. And a Steelers game.
And the Steelers game, yeah.
I bought a jersey.
You did?
Overstretched on my budget. I was like, I'm just going to buy it. And then went, I just bought a 60 quid jersey. I don't know where I got that money from. Fuck it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good day, that. I enjoyed that.
We didn't get any glove dropping though, did
there? There was no glove dropping.
Yeah.
No. It was very... I think the thing that struck me, I don't necessarily think I was surprised, but it was a thing, was how Americanized it was.
Yeah.
You know, like every sort of 2 minutes there was the music and the horns going off and stuff, and it was like, wow, it's like it's all a bit of a shock to the system in a way.
It's a bit too cheesy for like us English, because
we don't do any of that.
Yeah. And it's more geared towards kids as well, like all the the songs and stuff, and how
Yeah.
they get the kids to like clap along.
Yeah, there's
There's
a lot of
like
clapping.
if you go to like America and Canada, like you don't need to do that because like they take it quite seriously, I suppose, and they're already like into it. It's almost like they're trying to sell you it when you're there. Like, oh, look at this! It's such good fun.
All
You can
the glitz and the glamour
bring
of
your
the
kids
game.
and clap along, and we've got this game where you can throw a puck like from miles away and hit the person on the front row, or you can actually, get it into the middle of ice where you're meant to get it and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think I'd encourage people to go and see it because it was good. It was enjoyable. Like we'd managed to land both those things on the same day,
yeah,
so it was good to get that done. And yeah, it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable experience.
it was.
Who's your favourite hockey player,
Favourite hockey player? Oh,
past or present?
past or present? What, for the Steelers or out of
Just anybody.
Just out of anybody? It's a tough one, that.
You know,
Let's
big
come back
Gretzky.
to that.
You know, a big Gretzky
Well,
fan.
he was a good player. I mean, but he got a lot of protection. He had like a big goon at the back end that, like, if anyone like, blew fresh air on him, like they'd be straight up to the guy that did it and like, you can't blow on Wayne Gretzky. I'm sorry, like you have to answer to these,
I hear a lot about Wayne Gretzky because, as I've probably never mentioned on the podcast, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan and he's a big hockey fan.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about hockey on various different podcasts and stuff. And he was a huge Gretzky fan.
Yeah.
So he knows a lot about his history and stuff, learns a lot about it.
Yeah.
And the different hockey leagues that were around at that time, and then they just sort of condensed them down into the NHL. But before there was like two rival factions and all sorts of stuff. It's quite interesting. I like the history of things.
Yeah.
Like when I listen to Bill Burr, he's huge, just general sports fan. He's big into his hockey. He loves them Bruins. He likes basically any Boston sports team. So he's a big Celtics fan, huge Patriots fan. But he started getting into other sports, F1 and MotoGP and stuff like that. But he loves the history of it as well. So he'll relay a lot of history, and he can tell you like who was playing on what team in which like Super Bowl and stuff.
Yeah.
And he'll do the Rose Bowl, and he really does embrace that sports culture.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to do a tour this year to coincide with his birthday and the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
So I was looking at tickets for that, going, might see about getting a ticket for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can come back to your favourite.
Yeah, it's tough because I'm never one for liking like the flash players, that can do all the skills, like put it through the legs and put like the puck top shelf and stuff like that, like Sidney Crosby or someone like that. I quite like the New York Rangers goalie Henrik Lundqvist. Like he's a really good player. He can like win games like out of nothing really. He's Swedish as well, and he's been at the Rangers like years.
You did a good time,
but he's never actually won a Stanley Cup. So could he actually be the best player, like the best goalie? I don't know.
Could he be?
It's hard. It's hard choosing the best player.
Yeah.
I like the ones that work hard and like put in good shifts and can do decent skill every now and again, but
So one of the sections of time, especially when people come on the first time, I had this sort of thing about trying to work out ways of pushing the podcast forward, because you get people on and you do that first episode, that first time you have them on, and you can just ask them all the questions the first time. And then I was like, so yeah, what's your favourite movie? Oh, my favourite movie is this. Can't ask you that question again then, can I?
Yeah.
So, but as it is your first time, I can ask you all the first time questions. One of them is do a little bit about diet and exercise.
Yeah.
As you will know, as an avid listener. So, top one on there is diet. Would you say you adhere to any form of diet? Clean living, staying off the crack cocaine these days.
Yeah, I've stopped.
Freebasing.
I've stopped. Yeah, all the badness.
Yeah.
I've given up going to the gym like maybe 18 months ago. It's just like it's too sort of time consuming, and we're at a point where I was in between like here and Sheffield as well, and like you can't really commute and do the gym.
Yeah,
like it's a bit hard. But I was thinking like the other day, I don't really miss it because I used to like the workout and like getting absolutely knackered as much as you can, like on a treadmill and on a cross trainer and pumping some iron. But the thing I liked the best was like after you've done all that hard work, you could just go sit in steam room, not sauna. And I used to look forward to that more than like working out because I thought, I've only got like
10 more minutes and I could
on this treadmill, and then I could go sit in the steam room and just chill for like another hour.
Weirdly enough, that's how I do all of my workout. All of my workout is, oh man, I'm one set away from not having to do this exercise anymore. I don't know. The gym is very much. I was supposed to go to the gym this evening, but I just didn't have the time. I haven't got the time to do everything. So yeah, I understand that time-consuming aspect, and especially with like, it is the podcast that's been a bit of a. Well, I can either podcast or go to the gym.
Yeah.
Or I can go to the gym and do a little bit, and then go and do a podcast.
Maybe do a podcast at the gym.
See what that's like. Record it on my phone or something.
Yeah.
But you're off to play football afterwards.
I am, yeah. Like every Mondays we brick some steam and run around York College football pitch.
York College?
Yeah.
My old stomping ground. Yeah. Back in the day. I say my old stomping ground. I was barely there.
I'd like to go running more as well, especially now like we're coming into.
So I was coming around to that. I was going to say you and I used to do the park runs.
Yeah, I think we should get it back on the go.
The worst thing, they've started doing one over the road.
Really?
Yeah, they've started doing one over the road from my house.
Are they both at the same time? Or?
Yeah, Saturday morning at the same time, and I'm yet to do it. I was saying to Leanne, I was like, gotta get back out running.
Yeah.
Running was, no matter how much I hated every moment of it.
Yeah.
It had the biggest effect on me.
Yeah.
When I lost all that weight and stuff, which I've subsequently found the majority of.
And it was good timing that as well, because like you get the willpower to get up, because like a lot of us would do it. There'd be a few of us doing it,
and then that did it.
You'd do it, and then after it, you'd feel so much better, and then you've got like the rest of your day ahead as well, because you've not got up that early, really. I mean, about 8 o'clock maybe.
Yeah.
At a push.
And I'm usually up at sort of 7, half 7 on a Saturday anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've started thinking more. There was a mention of going for a run tomorrow morning, and instantly I was like, oh, that means getting out of bed. But then I was like, but I do keep saying I need to get back to the running, so
yeah,
I'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, park run over the road from the house Saturday morning. So we should get the old park run crew.
Yeah, get the guys back together.
Get the Daves, get Paul to do, at least one park run before he injures himself and can't do anymore. We should do it. Get the band back together.
Yeah, get the Legions of Dave back.
Legions of Dave. Get them over. Yeah.
It was good doing it at the racecourse as well, because it's kind of picturesque, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice run. And it's not a long one. I mean, it feels a long one, but yeah, 5k.
It's all well laid out as well. Like
Yeah.
you're running on the concrete track around the race course.
Yeah, because I can't do running on grass.
Yeah.
For me, I don't like the uneven nature of it all. I prefer road running.
Yeah.
Even though I think I've lost 2 inches in height from road running.
Yeah.
And I think I developed sciatica from it, and all of that. But I do prefer road running. Pounding the pavement's a lot better than falling over on the grass.
Yeah. I think that should be our mission then. Get the band
Get the
back
park
together.
run going. Right. So now we've committed it to a recording, which will ultimately find its way onto the internet in a few weeks. So then it'll be like a thing.
Somebody get more people tagging along now.
Somebody will be like, I keep telling Tom I'm going to get him a Cookiecast t-shirt because he's one of the avid listeners. I'm going to get him a t-shirt printed up. So we'll have to get some Cookiecast podcast parkrun t-shirts and get that going.
What size would that be for that giant? Was it?
I think we would get we'd get four 4XL t-shirts and stitch them together and make one giant t-shirt. I've got to stop because I keep I think Paul put Tom's podcast on today and he was like, "Oh, I'm listening to Tom's podcast. Yeah, cheers for absolutely abusing me through the first few minutes." So I was like, "Oh, it's fine. We got our own back because then we abused Tom in a later one." So I've got to stop abusing the only people that listen to the podcast. They're all lovely people.
We won't say anything about his trades that he sanctioned as commissioner in the in fantasy. We've moved on from that topic.
What was the FIFA commissioner called? Sepp
Blatter.
Blatter is
Sepp Williams.
Sepp Williams. Yeah, that name came up a few times in those definitely not massively dodgy trades that were going on.
I'm still waiting for the findings from the stewards' inquiry.
What, from 2 seasons ago? I presume somebody's still waiting for a trophy at this point in time because we can't even get a trophy organised. Ah, bless him. He loves coming and doing the podcast.
Yeah, he's done it twice now.
We're on pause at the moment. We did half a podcast the other night, then I made some Korean food, and then we went to a pub quiz. So I said to him today, I was like, "You kind of need to do the other half of that podcast at some point." He was like, "Too busy." Like, "But are you?" He was like, "I might come on Thursday." I was like, "Cheers, mate." I was like, we'll just knock it out and then, have some food.
Yeah.
So, if I was to ask you what you consider to be your specialist subject, what would you say? Do you have a specialist subject? No. Have we covered it? Do you know loads about ice hockey?
No, not really.
You know a lot about fantasy football though, don't you?
Probably.
Would you say it was your specialist subject?
I don't think I won. I know a little bit about stuff. But,
Jack of all trades, master of none.
You could probably say sport, but then there's stuff that I don't know about certain sports. Like, what was this sport we were watching on? The sport came on Sky the other night, and I think it's played in like either Thailand or India, and it's a bit like TIG. I think it's called kabaddi or something.
Oh yeah, you got to say kabaddi while you're playing it.
Yeah,
and it's designed to make you run out of breath.
And it's like you have some intruder in your zone, and he's got to TIG one of you in your zone.
We used to play
and
it
get
at
out,
school.
and I was just like blown away, fascinated by this sport.
We used to play it at school as a school sport.
Yeah,
we used to play it like in PE. It was really, really intense because you just like after a while like I think I might pass out.
Yeah,
because I can't breathe right now. Yeah, it's proper intense. No,
I do. I would like to watch that again. It was interesting. It was just gripping, like to see something new, and like it was. They had like nicknames as well for the teams, and it was almost like they were trying to, make it appealing in a sort of a team sense. But yeah, it was refreshing.
Yeah, and I've been talking to a lot of people recently about how anything new is interesting because we live in a world where nothing's new.
Yeah.
We're watching the same TV programs, we're watching the same types of films, we play the same sorts of games.
Yeah.
and everything's a sequel or a reboot or a remake. There's no original ideas left. So when an original idea comes up, people are just like so hungry for it, and it's why I think we should invest more in like the indie side of things, like films and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest films started out as indie films, and we should invest more in up and coming talent rather than just giving the same people the same money to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And like I keep saying, like the computer game world is the worst it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because if you take a year, you might get 5 big games.
Yeah.
And then in between that, you'll get like 2 or 3 remakes,
like
reboots.
fillers. Yeah.
Let's play Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Again. While you're playing Final Fantasy 15, you play Final Fantasy 7 again.
Yeah.
And I go in phases with it. Part of me is like, I see some stuff and I'm like, oh, can't wait to play that again.
Yeah.
And then other stuff I'm like, why the hell have you spent time on that when you could have made something new?
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to sort of go through. But yeah, new things. People are hungry for new things, which is good. So having listened to the podcast previously, we're drawing to the back end.
Yeah.
So did you bring me an impression?
Did you bring an impression?
Did you do any? I always ask people if they've got a Kermit impression. Right up until I asked somebody if they had a Kermit impression. They went, "Yeah, I've got a Kermit impression." I was like, "Oh, I've lost my standard impression question."
I lost my voice.
I've done an amazing impression on a recent one that's yet to be released.
Really?
It's an amazing impression. So much so that after I'd done it, Leanne said to me, "I think you need to check that impression because you keep doing it and it doesn't sound right." So I got it on YouTube and was like, "Yeah, I was way off on that one." Yeah. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to people go, "That impression was awful."
Yeah, I can't really do any impression. I can do like Scouse accent or something like that.
Accents are fine. A lot of people have brought me an accent. Paul brought an accent. Paul ruined my life by doing a Barney impression.
Yeah.
So he did a Barney impression and it was good, and he did an accent and it was great. Unfortunately, I told Leanne that he'd done a Barney impression, and I think I played it at some point, and then since then that's all she does. She'll just be in like other rooms and I just hear her doing like Barney impressions, and I'm like, oh my god, stop with the freaking Barney. It's like every 2 minutes. I'm like, shut up.
I thought you were going to say she plays his impression on repeat because it's that good. Oh.
It was a good impression.
Yeah.
I presume because I've just released Ed's. So yeah. Ed did some amazing impressions.
Yeah.
It's really good. Like his Gollum was brilliant. It might have been Ed that did the Kermit the Frog impression. So yeah, I can't offer people Kermit the Frog anymore.
I can probably do a Rocky impression, but like it's the pretty standard one.
But Stallone.
Yeah.
Have you listened to the first episode where I tried to get Leon to do a Stallone impression? Go on then. Give us some Rocky Balboa.
It's probably the standard Adrian one. So, cool.
Go on. Adrian! I don't know, you! Stallone, I listen to a lot of Hollywood Babylon and Ralph Garman. I think somebody's recently, because the running joke was Ralph Garman, the man of 8 impressions.
Yeah.
So this was a running joke for a long time. So somebody actually counted up how many impressions he does. And I think they got to like 88 impressions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stars out of the Stallone. And then I've watched a cartoon on Netflix recently called Big Mouth, which, I don't even know. I can't use words to describe that program. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
But they had Stallone, not the real Stallone, but they had a Stallone character in it, and the voice in that was pretty good and stuff. I think if you play it down a bit, then it works really well.
It's almost like he chews tongue to learn as well when he speaks.
Like I said to Leanne, it's just a lot of ooh. Just got to go ooh, going ooh. As far as the last segment of the podcast, fake adverts. If you got up in the morning and thought, my God, if I don't get me some of X between now and the end of the day, I might actually die. What is that X item? What would you happily advertise, because that is the thing that gets you through the day?
Probably water.
Water. See, I mean, there's been several where I've gone on about Asda's flavoured water, which we are currently enjoying right now. Water's the shit, man.
Because it keeps you hydrated, so it's obviously good for you. It's a bit of a cure for a headache, I suppose.
Yeah.
Your body needs it because you lose loads of water.
Mm-hmm.
And flavoured water's good.
Flavoured water's good. I have a little bottle of juice on my desk so that I can drink litres and litres and litres of water easily all day, because it makes it easier to drink. Yeah. Because sometimes, like, some people at work will be like, "Oh, do you want a drink?" Yeah, I'll have a drink. And then they're like, "I brought you 8 cups of water." It's like, thank you. I do drink a lot of water, but we're trying to drink 8 cups of water is a bit of a chore sometimes. So little splash of blackcurrant in there. Yeah. And I've been drinking. I read a book recently that told me that the secret to a long and happy life, or one of the secrets to a long and happy life, was green tea. Yeah. And it mentioned jasmine green tea was one right up there on the top. Yeah. So I went out, and I'm quite impressionable. Yeah. I watched Trainspotting, and then had to go out and buy heroin. As you do. So I read this book and it said this, and I was like, I could do with a bit of happiness in my life. So I went to Asda, immediately bought jasmine green tea, had a cup, and went, well, that tastes like ass. But then a little splash of blackcurrant in there. Yeah, it's actually not too bad. So I've been drinking green tea on a morning and an afternoon whilst at work. Yeah. I don't feel any happier or like I'm going to live any longer. But, maybe one day, maybe one cup's going to push me over the edge and I'll be like, hey, look, I'm still here. It's probably yet to work its way through. It's probably just, Well, they use words like antioxidants and, I don't think it's got any gluten in. These are the buzzwords these days. Antioxidants, gluten, carbohydrates. That's one. Yeah. Maybe it's just flushing out my system. Yeah. Who knows? So you can join me on the advertising water. Any day now, Asda's going to give me a call. We're going to be rolling in bottles of flavoured water. Have to get an advert on the go. Yeah. So Asda, call me. Yeah. So that's it. End of the podcast. There you go. I'd like to offer to you the same as I offer to all of my podcast guests to please come back. Yeah, bring me more impressions, and we should have talked about our mutual love for some bands and stuff. We can say that for next time. Yeah, we've already written the first show note for our next one. I was thinking if they could be my specialist subject, but probably not. There was a time in my life where they were my specialist subject. I was redoing English at college, and we had to do a presentation. And it had to be, was it 10 minutes originally or 20-minute presentation, and you could use stuff. And I went, let's say it was 20 minutes. I was like, 20 minutes? Is that all? Yeah. And the tutor was like, yeah, why? And I was like, 20 minutes isn't enough time. And I did an hour on Metallica. Yeah. Just like, let me tell you about Metallica and everything I know about them. Yeah. I was a big fan back in those days. So maybe we could definitely on the next one. Cool beans. Right, Matthew, 2T's Herlihy. Thanks for coming. Come back again. Pleasure. I'll have to get you and Bill on at the same time. Yeah, I've been talking podcast team ups with various people, and a few of us have been talking about who would make either good or like opposites. So we're going to get Paul to do a sports podcast with Ed. Oh, because Paul knows a lot about sport, and Ed knows nothing about sport. Yeah. So there's that contrast, and then we're going to put like people who like go together. So you and Bill could do one.
Yeah,
Talk about
touch
football,
wrestling and football and
football, wrestling.
Yeah.
The NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Already setting up the next one.
Excellent.
Right. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Right. We'll leave it there.
All right.
Bye-bye. So there you go, guys. What do you think to that? Matthew 2T's Herlihy. Not a bad little chat, huh? As always, get yourself over to cookiecast.com. Send us an email or any form of multimedia message. Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of bump. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. But until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.